God created a man and a woman. Tight and a big d.
I realise that looks really bad without context, but you're not going to get the context unless you watch the whole video.
Hello, underachievers. So transphobia. Not the most fun of all the phobias, you know, homophobia, transphobia, arachnophobia. Personally, my favourite phobia is hippopotamonstros's quipedaliophobia. And yes, I did get that from Wizards of Waverly Place. So, does TikTok have a transphobia problem? I guess we'll find out today, but undeniably the answer is yes. I'm just here to showcase that. But to be fair, the entire world does have a transphobia problem, so it's not really saying much. So I asked you guys to send in your favourite transphobic TikToks, and today I'll be watching them and reacting to them and all that really fun, creative, original YouTube stuff. Content. So this one says, things I hate about this generation. I'm assuming one of those things is going to be trans people. We're not the most popular right now. She went straight into that. There are people getting sharp at school. Some YouTuber just killed his dog. Jeffree Star exists, is alive, and is thriving, and the first thing you say that you hate about this generation is that people think there's more than two genders. It's so boring because we know that gender and sex are different things. Medical professionals know they're different things. Scientific literature knows they're different things. I feel like small-minded people are so terrified of change that as soon as, like, one of their views is challenged, they get really upset about it. And, like, I would empathize, like, oh yeah, things are scary, things change, but like I literally grew up thinking that there are only two genders. Like, we're in the same position. It's really not hard to turn your brain on and think, oh, maybe like as we learn more about the world, like our old outdated views will kind of disappear. So another thing she hates about this generation, why is everything racist? Now, I know we're not on the same page, but I agree, why is everything racist? Racism is bad. Again, this is literally just like tiny brain energy. There's been a lot of talk about institutionalized racism recently, which is great. It's great that there's more awareness about it, but obviously if you weren't aware of it before, and you suddenly hear that, oh wait, the system is racist? No, that means I'm racist, and I'm a good person, so I'm not racist. You probably are. This entire conversation is a great learning experience, and if you just, like, close your ears, go la 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 la, and you're not even, like, willing to understand or try to understand how, like, institutionalized racism affects every aspect of society, then of course you're gonna be confused. Why is everything racist? Well, maybe if you listened, you'd know. Obviously, I'm not saying everything is racist, but there's a lot of things that are racist that people didn't know was racist. What's next? Being too sensitive. Sure. Fine. I just feel, personally, that a lot of the time conservatives will call people on the left snowflakes, for, you know, speaking up about human rights and, like, you know, trying to improve people's quality of life. But at the same time, they get, like, abhorrently defensive and disgustingly upset when you say, like, hey, that thing you just did was racist. Hey, you know, that's kind of transphobic. Maybe don't do that. As soon as you say that, they are the most sensitive people you will ever meet. Conservatives being mad about people to the left of them being sensitive is literally just code word for, like, oh, no, I did something bad and now you're telling me off for it. What else? Promoting obesity. Personally, I've never seen anybody promote obesity. I'm pretty sure she's just talking about the body positivity movement, which isn't there to promote obesity. It's more just promoting the fact that, like, you can love your body and, you know, what society deems as, like, the attractive body isn't necessarily the ideal body to have. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with holding a bit more fat than a size 0, but we've been told our entire lives that, you know, being bigger than this ideal body type is bad. The body positivity movement, you know, is kind of there being like, hey, let's knock down this wall that f***ing society built. There are millions of people that have been told that they're ugly for their entire life just because they hold more fat than other people. And I don't think saying, hey, you're not ugly just because you have more fat, I don't think saying that is a bad thing. And it's definitely not promoting obesity. So, next TikTok.
And I am a transgender woman. And we do the thing. I usually don't tell them beforehand.
Okay, so, right, this conversation. There's this massive conversation about, like, whether trans people should tell people they're sleeping with that they're trans or not. I personally, this is my personal opinion, I think that, you know, if you're gonna engage with someone sexually...
For some reason, my brain stopped working when I filmed this, and I didn't finish that sentence. But I think if you are gonna engage in that activity with someone, you should tell them that you're trans. I think you should. You don't have to, but I really think you should.
That could be potentially dangerous for you as a trans person. Like, if I was gonna have a one-night stand with a guy and he didn't know I was trans, and then, you know, we got to doing stuff and he realised I didn't have a dick, that would be awkward. That would be incredibly awkward. What I don't like about this conversation is the fact that people think trans people are stupid. They think that we don't, like, worry about this kind of stuff, like, every day. Like, I'm pretty sure we are more aware than anybody that, like, some people hate trans people. In terms of this video, this trans woman says that she transitioned to a point where you could not tell her apart from a cisgender woman, which means that she passes as a woman. She's had bottom surgery, which, by the way, a lot of the time is actually indistinguishable, you know, from, like, a cis woman's genitalia. Trans woman indistinguishable from a cis woman. Let's see what this guy has to say.
As manipulation, because you do not tell them what you are until after you guys do it, because
straight off the bat, that's not what manipulation is. It's not like she told the guy, hello, I am a cis woman, I was born a female, and I have not had any surgeries related to being trans. She didn't lie. She didn't manipulate anyone. I'm assuming this was, like, a consensual thing.
Obviously I don't know this person, so I can only make assumptions, but I'm assuming that, like, each people that engaged in this were like, oh, you're attractive, let's do the thing. He saw a woman, was attracted to a woman, and then had sex with a woman. Being trans did not impact that engagement because she has the genitals that you would expect a woman to have.
because you know they would never try to do it with you if they knew what you were. People in the comments saying, oh, you do not need to disclose your medical history with a hookup. That means people who have herpes don't need to tell their hookups that they have it.
The word is herpes. And obviously that's really not the argument you think it is. You can't catch the transgender from sleeping with a trans person. It's not contagious. Being trans is not contagious. Herpes is. If you have sex with somebody and you don't tell them that you have an STD, yes, that is a very, very, very bad idea. But not telling a one-night stand that you're trans, even though you have a body that's indistinguishable from a cis person, I don't think that's comparable to not telling somebody you're going to sleep with that you have herpes. Trans people may give you the ick, but, you know, we're not gonna spread our transness.
Y'all say it's for her safety. No, because when you're at a safe distance, you can text them what you are and their reaction will tell you to leave them alone. Yet you say you wait until after y'all do it to tell them what you are. I'm pretty sure that's a form of R-wording, bro. I'm not sure. Anyways, I support the trans community.
Look,
100%.
like, I would never do this. I don't think that's a good idea. Personally, I do not think it's a good idea to engage sexually with somebody if you're trans when they don't know that you're trans. I don't think it's a good idea, but that doesn't make it
The R word.
If I was gonna hook up with somebody and I just didn't tell them about my secret extra toe, that it just didn't come up in conversation, then we have sex, and the next day I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, I've got like 11 toes.
I would just like to put it on record that I do not have 11 toes.
Anyways, I support the trans community, 100%. But Lord.
Like, don't get me wrong, I get it, but again, like, how does her being trans change the situation? If during sex, you look at her and you're like, that's a woman, I'm having sex with a woman, then why is her saying she's trans afterwards, like, an issue?
This is my thinky face.
So what's next?
Hi guys, I'm here watching an hour-long girl-defined video on gender. Let's see what they have to say.
If you don't know who Girl Defined is, it's like a Christian YouTube channel where they're very traditional and talk about marriage and, you know, how to be a good wife and, you know, all that stuff.
Wants to choose to be a girl, we should let him. So they started putting him in dresses, started treating him like a little girl, and now this little boy is in his teen years and he looks, acts, talks, and claims to be a little girl. And in our culture, she is considered a hero. And now
There's something so passive-aggressive about that little smile and nod that her friend does.
this little boy is in his teen years and he looks
I don't think trans people are seen as heroes. I do agree that some cis people can be overly supportive and, you know, a bit weird when trans people come out. Like, the amount of times I've been called brave for coming out as trans. It's a bit patronizing to have people tell you, oh, like, oh, you're so brave. I could never do that. Also, obviously, she's calling a trans girl he, and a boy, which is an issue, but I just feel like we expect that now.
yeah, it's so scary the way things are going.
Yeah, so scary.
Again, it's just like this black and white mindset. It's like so simple. There's no room for like nuance there. Something so weird about conservatives, like they can't comprehend things outside of their own understanding. And it's not just that they don't know things, like it's like if you don't know something, you don't know something. Like that's too bad, but like they're so unwilling to learn.
John, what did he do? He created a man and a woman very specifically. He didn't create them and say, hey, you know, I've got these two genders.
What is she holding up? God created a man and a woman. Tight and a big.
Very specifically, he didn't create them and say, hey, you know, I've got these two genders. Which one do you want to be? Which one are you feeling today? No, he chose.
God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
I don't want to bash religion. I just think they're refusing to acknowledge that anything outside this, like, thousands years old book exists is just, like, not a great way to live. I believed in God when I was young, but it was in the same way that I believed in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. I just don't get adhering to rules that a man you don't even know made up. Next TikTok. Guys when they think I'm hot, but then find out I'm trans.
Y'all in the comments acting like it's illegal to have preferences now. I'll be crying too.
You'd cry if you saw a hot woman and then found out she was trans. That sounds like an issue.
Y'all can call it whatever y'all want to call it. At the end of the day, that is still a dude. A man.
He fully just looked at this video of a woman and was like, that's a man. In what world?
And some of y'all be looking strong as hell like y'all in the gym room benching 225.
It's so odd to me that this is what people think of trans people. He just called a woman who's clearly a woman a man and then was like, and some of you trans people, you're strong as hell. You bench a lot. So?
It's not transphobic because you don't want to date a trend. Don't no straight man want to date a man. Y'all on TikTok trying to normalize this shit. In the Bible, it was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Boys used to be deep as hell like y'all chain smoked 100 Newports. This motherfucker looking like y'all trained with Mayweather. No sir, I am good.
They just have like such a limited understanding of, maybe not the world, maybe just of like what gender is. But it's so tiring. This kind of conversation literally feels exactly the same to me as like trying to explain to a toddler why 2 + 2 is not 5. Next TikTok. At first I would joke around about being transphobic.
At first I was like, feet, as a joke. But bro, I don't think it's a joke anymore.
I think there's something incredibly wrong with the type of person that would just happily post this on the internet. Like, if you want to be transphobic, go ahead, like, hate crime me. But it is not a good idea to publicly post the fact that you're a bigot. Whether or not you think being transphobic makes you a bigot, that doesn't matter. Your friends are gonna see this, your family are gonna see this, potentially people that you work with are gonna see this. There is no positive outcome to posting this kind of hate online. Like, sure, you'll get a bunch of people in the comments being like, whoa, you're so brave, like, whoa, I'm with you, you're so cool, you're not like the other girls. But do you really need that validation so bad that you're willing to just destroy how you're perceived? Okay, last one. It says, Julia Hartley-Brewer accused of transphobia for saying men don't have periods. Another tiring conversation.
Who has a period, but also anyone who buys them. So
what do you mean anyone who has a period? So you mean women and girls?
So I just mean anyone who has a uterus. Not all women.
Women and girls.
Periods.
Well, no, not all women are going to know. I mean, you know, people who are postmenopausal, people, you know, women.
Yes, women and girls do have periods. You may not like it, but there's also other people that have periods. Some intersex people can have periods, so it's not even like, oh, only biological females have it. Being confrontational in this way is incredibly irritating. Like, I can't imagine having an issue with gender-neutral language. Like, if you saw a mum call her daughter her child, would you be like, no, that's your daughter, she's the girl, biological female. Like, calm down.
So women and girls, we're not saying people who have periods on my show, we're saying women and girls.
Okay, well,
no, genuinely, I won't have you on the show if you're going to talk that nonsense. Men don't have periods, full stop. Women and girls.
Okay, well, I think that's quite transphobic, but
you think that's quite transphobic? Do you know any men who have periods, Laura?
I do actually know quite a lot of trans activists.
Do you know any men who have periods?
I know, yes, I do.
You do?
I think trans men are
they're
men.
lying to you.
Again, this is like, her brain is at full capacity. There's no more new information that can come in. She's like, nope, I do not understand it, therefore, get rid of it. Go away.
Oh, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that? You think men who don't have uteruses, and you think men have periods, do you?
Well, men who don't have uteruses don't have periods. No, don't be silly.
Yes, because some men have uteruses.
Some men have uteruses. How do those men have uteruses if they're not born women?
Jesus Christ. So, that's the end of the video. Let me know what your favourite transphobe is. Who is it? Personally, my favourite transphobe is, oh my god. I'm tired. I don't know, answer it for me. Who's my favourite transphobe? So that's the end of the video. Have a good day. See you later, losers. Goodbye. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have hiccups the whole video. Oh my god. You ever stretch so much you feel you're gonna pass out?